Runs from Azhar Mahmood late in the day has meant that there's everything to play for going into the final day of the LV County Championship match in Canterbury between Kent and promotion-chasing Middlesex. Day 3 began with Middlesex resuming their first innings on 258 for 7, leading by only 16 runs, and that advantage had been pushed forward by 28 more before the visitors lost their first wicket of the day. Tim Murtagh had batted well for his 20 in spite of being hit on the head, but he was the first to go when he pulled Darren Stevens only to top edge his shot and be held by a sprinting Geraint Jones. David Malan's fine knock was ended on 68, having begun this day on 55. He edged a cut of Wahab Riaz to James Treadwell, 4 runs short of the 300. Middlesex did get there for a third batting bonus point, but then Riaz, in his farewell game for the county this summer, removed Stephen Finn, who'd replaced Stephen Crook after being released from the Oval. Rob Key took the catch at mid-on. So Middlesex have been bowled out for 303 to give them a handy first innings lead of 59, not as big as they would have hoped for at one stage when they were cruising in their first innings on 204 for 2, but it still gave them something to play with, although Joe Denley looked determined to wipe that lead out. Finn probably always expected to be travelling down the M2 to help his county out in this big game for them. A win here will do a lot to aid their push for promotion, but he initially found Key a tough nut to crack as he and Denley reduced their deficit by 33. Corey Collymore broke the developing opening partnership, finding the edge of Key's bat to see the back of the dangerous Kent captain for 16. 2 balls later, Sam Northeast nicked a lifter from Finn to Sam Robson, and now Middlesex sensed their chance. That, though, was snuffed out for a while by Denley and Martin van Jaarsveld. The latter chose today to play one of his better innings of the season, one which has been a bit of a struggle for the 37-year-old who used to score runs for fun in the Championship. Denley has also not had his best season with the bat, but on his day, he still looks to be the class act which earned him international honours not too many moons ago. Kent were 29 runs ahead when they lost their third wicket. Denley drove at Finn and edged to Neil Dexter to depart for 47, the second time in the match that he fell around the 50 mark. Middlesex were still very well placed, but they still had work to do, especially with Van Jaarsveld striking the ball as cleanly as this. This went for 6. Stevens has been a thorn in many a side in his career in situations such as this, and although not at his fluent best, he was able to add 47 runs with his partner for the 4th wicket. The visitors were aware of the great need to break this stand, and that was why Collymore was so full of joy when he trapped Stevens in front for 16 at 135 for 4. Van Jaarsveld then completed his 6th 50 of the summer soon after that dismissal. He'd stuck it out for 2 hours and faced 93 deliveries to get there, and all the while he was building his side's advantage. There were still 13 overs to go before tea, and if Middlesex had been able to add more numbers in the wicket column before then they would have forged ahead of their opponents. Instead, Van Jaarsveld and Jones saw their side through to the break on 168 for 4 to now lead themselves by 109. It took Murtagh just 2 balls of the evening session to put his side back on top, as Van Jaarsveld on 66 was bowled, as Murtagh claimed his 61st championship wicket of another great summer for him. In the corresponding fixture in London earlier in the summer, the Kent tailenders had caused problems with the bat for Middlesex, and so they were keen to make sure that that didn't occur again. Not that Jones can be described as a tailender by any means, and he was batting nicely. So too Mahmood, who made hay in the sunshine in the last session. Lazily run out first ball in the first dig, he started this innings cautiously before later unleashing some forceful shots against the ageing ball. He did well at times to stay on his feet. He and Jones have put on a vital 93 runs in 24 overs to make a real game of this contest. Jones kept going until the last 20 minutes of the day, when Finn finally got one through to remove his off stump on 45. Azhar went one better to reach his 50, his 3rd of the summer, and he celebrated by planting Tom Smith over the ropes for a 6. Treadwell made sure that there were no problems at the end of the day, one which ended with both sides hoping that victory can still be theirs. Indeed, all results are still possible, with Azar closing in on his season's best on 69 and Treadwell on 10. Kent go into the last day on 292 for 6, and that gives them a lead of 231 with 4 wickets in hand. Middlesex will have a target to chase on the last day, but now it's up to Kent to set how difficult that may be.